following is a high-intensity exercise class. If you have any health concerns, make sure that you get medical clearance before attempting this exercise. Welcome, and this is part 2 of my video class, Silver Sneakers Boom Muscle, addressing activities directed towards improving your performance and enjoyment of sports such as pickleball, other rotational or racket sports, and to improve mobility, flexibility, strength, cardiovascular, and strength endurance. A few things that you might want to have ahead of time that we'll use in this would be a small squeeze ball, about 8 inches, a foam roller, a band for exercise, and it's also nice to have something like a Bosu ball or a incline that you can work on your ankle. We'll get started with a warm-up and then proceed into some action intervals to improve our cardiovascular and coordination. Just start with some shoulder rolls and arm circles. You want to think about your posture. Stand up tall, gauge your core, your back muscles. You should feel your glutes working. We'll also work on some balance, which helps to prevent falls, other activities like that, particularly if you're engaged in a sport where you're having fun. Rotate forward, palms up, and not really thinking about protecting your knees and your ankles. And rotate back. I like to start with some trunk twists. Just let your arms flow freely. If you find that rotating your head makes you dizzy, you can't do this just by looking forward. But you do want to work on that vestibular system so that you can shift and quickly follow where the ball is. Part of these sports is reactive speed, to where quicker you can move, quicker you can get to where the ball's going and respond. Let's do some partial squats or knee bends. You don't going to have to go very far. You want to warm up those joints before we put a lot of stress on. Your arms up. You want to think about your breathing. Inhale as your arms come up. Exhale as they go down. Want to step to the side. Give a little squat. And you want your knees to track right over your feet. Now when you step to the side, come back, go into a knee lift. See if you can hold your balance for a couple of seconds. And one more each side. We'll start with some lateral shuffles. We'll go for about 30 seconds and give ourselves about 30 seconds of rest. Okay, start. So we rest. Next, we'll go to some crossover steps. Step side, crossover, same thing at a very vigorous pace. Okay, and start. So we catch our breath, we'll do forward and back with a bit of a shuffle. I like it sort of a delta shape. Okay, run forward, backward, shuffle, shuffle, forward, backward. Okay. Take a little break, get a drink of water, we'll come back for more. Next we'll do a ladder drill. You don't need the ladder, you just do like 2 steps, 2 steps, 2 steps, 2 steps, 2 steps, 2 steps. It's done quick, work on mobility and reaction. Okay. Let's start. Next, get a ball. We're going to do some reaction. I like to throw the ball and try and get to it, catch it, and throw it again. Try and not duck your camera down. Again, take a breath, check your exertion level. With these, we should be in about that 7, 8, 9 level where we're having a hard time talking because our breath is in that second ventilatory threshold and we're recovering. Next, I want to incorporate some bands, start working on strengthening our rotator cuff muscles in the shoulders, which again suffer significantly as we get older, and find that they're the weak link in our enjoyment of most throwing and rotational sports. Start with the band about shoulder height. I like to use a band looped around a support so I can use either one or both sides of the band. do internal rotation. Bring your lower arm horizontal to the floor, elbow tight against the body, and during this exercise, concentrate on keeping your shoulder blade down and squeezed into the middle. That helps open up the rotator cuff, and so you can strengthen these muscles. They're small muscles which can be overwhelmed by the larger muscles on the outside, like your trapezius, your deltoid, and your pecs. A couple more rotations. And I like to switch to the other arm just with one band and do external rotation. These are generally weaker muscles, don't need as much resistance as for internal rotation. And switch sides, do that same exercise. And single arm external rotation, single band. To exercise the supraspinatus muscle, take a fairly light weight, like a dumbbell. You can do it one at a time or both together. Thumbs front and then towards the ceiling. Arms out straight. Bring them 45 degrees and then just up and down. Don't go above horizontal or shoulder height. And if it's painful, just do a partial. Again, posture is important. Shoulder blades down and together. Chest forward. Stand up tall. And two more. I like to go back to the band and do some rotational exercises. First, we start with anti-rotation, resistance to keep us from rotating. Again, this is a very good way to exercise your core muscles and strengthen them in that transverse plane. So I like to take a fairly strong band, and we can do a squat and press forward. Squat and press. Increase the intensity, bring the outside leg forward in a lunge posture. And switch legs. Now, stand up tall, legs about shoulder width apart, and rotate against the bands. And the other side. So next, grab a mat or lay down on the floor. To increase their mobility in our thoracic spine, which is very important again for rotation, striking the ball, recovering, etc. We need to work on that. So I like to put my knees together, take my upper arm here, and just rotate it as far as I can go. Take it slow. By keeping your knees together, you exclude rotation from the pelvis, which, particularly in my case, I have pretty good pelvic rotation. My thoracic rotation, not so good. Let's do one more. And switch to the other side. Another way to improve that thoracic mobility is to take something like a foam roller and lay on it parallel underneath your spine. Initially, you might find that somewhat uncomfortable, but over time, you actually kind of thrive on it. A couple things I like to do to cool down is first a slow windmill to work on stretching, reaching, other factors. And then I like to get a Bosu ball to work on my balance and ankle flexibility. We'll go through those. So just hang out on the Bosu ball, balancing in this squat pause position for a few seconds. Shake it out. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little video on exercises for rotational sports, pickleball, and we'll post something in the near future on other activities. Good morning and welcome to Silver Sneakers Boom Muscle. Today we're going to go through a pretty high intensity workout. Again, if you have any medical issues, other concerns, or if you've not done high intensity exercise, you should seek medical clearance before participating in this workout. I'm going to incorporate some devices and equipment. There's always alternatives if you don't have these. Some slide disc. I like these perfect push-up handles to protect your wrist. Maybe some cones, kettlebell, some light weights, and ladder for coordination and speed, a mat for some floor work, TRX band to do some upper body type exercises, and a stretch band to incorporate as well. Let's start with a warm-up. Just do some marching in place. Let's put our knees out to the side. And some little squats. Don't go too deep. You want to get those joints warmed up before we start pushing things. And some arm circles. I like to start low. And as my body warms up, start bringing them up towards horizontal. Remember to think about your posture. You want to stand up tall. Bring your chest forward. Shoulder blades down. Engage your core, your gluteal muscles, and your legs. Remember to breathe. Take deep breaths. And let's reverse our arm circles. I like to do some trunk twists. You can just let your arms flow. Let's go back to arm circles with our palms up and going forward. And reverse. Okay, now let's just reach one arm up. Again, in silver sneakers, we don't want our arms go directly over our head. If you look straight ahead, you still should be able to see your hand. Again, this is to protect the shoulders. Now let's reach across. And rise up in your heel from the opposite leg. Side step with an overhead reach. One more each side. Let's do some front lunges. Again, not with much of a bend in the knee, just a little bit. Now I want you to lift your arms. You get forward on the lunge. Side. Okay, shake it out. We'll get ready for our first strength interval. I want to check your exertion level, whether to be just mild intensity, like a level 5 or 6, or if you're starting to breathe a little bit harder, getting up into like 7 or 8. Let's get a drink of water, come back, and we'll start with a strength interval. Okay, so grab a pair of fairly light dumbbells, and we'll start with some bicep curls. If they're too heavy, you can just use muscle tension to get a good workout in your upper arms. And if they're too light, just add some muscle tension to the weight you got. Or grab a different, heavier set. Do about 4 more. Now I want you to pause halfway and then go up. Go down, pause halfway and down. And give a squeeze. Both the halfway point and the full up. Now I want you to pause halfway and just do little pulses. Four more. And let down. Now I want you to hinge forward a little bit. Dumbbells down, and then we'll do a row with them. So pull the weight up to your chest. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades when they're at the top. And 4 more. Okay, keep your arms up here and kick the dumbbells back with the triceps. Again, you don't have to hinge very far forward. Remember to squeeze your muscles at the top. And 4 more. Now when you're done, I want you to keep them back, and at this point just lift your shoulders for shoulder extension. Lift your arms. It's a little pulse. You might find those shoulder muscles starting to get a bit sore. You can always just rest and go back to it when you can. And do about 4 more. Okay, stand up tall. One at a time, push the weight overhead. You curl and a press. One more each side. Okay, take the weights in front. Just do an upright row. And remember posture, stand tall. And breathe. Four more. And now let's do a lat raise. Keep your elbows bent. Your weights should not go any higher than your elbow. Remember to engage your core. Keep your gluteals tight. 4 more. Set the weights down, get a drink of water, we'll come back and we'll start our first action interval. So we're going to do 30 seconds of box squats, followed by 30-second rest, and 30 seconds of push-ups, followed by 30-second rest, and repeat that for 2 cycles. Ready? Start. seconds left. Catch your breath for 30 seconds. And for the push-ups, I like to do them on an incline and use the perfect push-up to protect my wrist. You can use a dumbbell, or if no issues, just do the flat wrist. We'll start in 2 seconds. 2, 1, and begin. Take a few breaths and then resume. So you can get ready for our next cycle of box squats. Okay, get ready. Start. 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. Seconds. And rest. Get ready for push-ups. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and begin. Remember, rest pause, perfectly fine. Check your exertion level, get a drink of water, take a rest for a minute or two. We'll come back and do some more strengthening. All right, I was going to use TRX and some band for this next session. TRX is a device, it's very portable. You can always just substitute a rope that has a firm attachment and is stable. So we're going to start with some rows and move into a high row and then work into some flies and then some band work as well. So for a row, getting back with TRX, just pull using the body weight. And 4 more. And then for a high pull, then you pull your hands up by your eyes to the side. If you turn around, there's a fly. The closer you stand to the attachment, the more weight you distance. For the band, I wanted to use this to strengthen my rotator cuff with some internal rotation, one arm. You want to keep your elbow in tight to your body. And for the other arm, external rotation. It's a weaker muscle, so I just use one of half the band. And I'll turn around and do the same exercises with the other arm. And then external rotation. Back and do some additional rows like a lat pull if you hinge forward at the waist. Another exercise I like to do is like I'm throwing a device using the band. Arm. 'Get ready for our next action interval. Check your exertion rate, get a drink of water, and we'll come back and we'll do some work with a ladder. Don't really need a ladder, it's just nice to gauge foot placement, etc. We'll do 30-second intervals, starting off with just a run through, and then a side-to-side type activity. Work on speed, stride length, quick feet, and cardiovascular endurance. So this first exercise will just be quick feet, running forward. When you get to the end of the ladder, you sprint around to the top and start again. Second rest, then we'll do in and out. Again, as fast as you can go. Next, we'll just do strides. See if you can extend 2 or 3 boxes on each lap. Final interval, we'll do hops. Try and hop 1 foot, and then switch the other foot, square to square. Recover, get a drink of water, check exertion level, and come right back. So for the last strength interval, we're going to start off with some kettlebell work and then go to the mat. Just want to start with a swing. So you let the kettlebell just sort of swing between your legs and then bring it up. Arms don't need to go higher than chest high. The power comes from your hips. Four more. Let's do goblet squat. Hold the kettlebell with both hands and squat down. Again, the first move is to push your hips back and then bend the knees. Try and keep your back neutral and your head up. And 4 more. The snatch, one hand, you start like you would with a swing, but you bring the weight over your head. It's important, once it's at the top, to let it fall straight down. If you find the kettlebell flops back and hits your wrist, 2 things: squeeze the handle really tight and then bring your arm forward to ease that blow. The other option is to just hold it upright. Requires a lot of grip strength. Other side. Okay, so grab a mat and we'll go to the floor. I know it's tempting once you're on the floor to just sort of chill and take a nap, but let's start with just some bent knee crunches. You want to avoid pulling on your neck, So I just put my hands sort of on top of my head. Bicycle. I like to put my hands in the shape of a diamond and put it under my tailbone to do flutter kicks. And in and out. And then fill in a glute bridge. And just hold it for a bit. And then you can take these slide things, put your heels on them, and do some hamstring exercise. I like to do them one leg at a time. And to finish, you do side plank. Try and hold it for 20 seconds or so. And then go to the other side. Do some stretching, get some water. Hope you enjoyed the workout, and see you next time.